For today's headlines, Philippines breaches 1 million COVID-19 cases. Rody to announce quarantine classifications for May. Palace to lawmakers, don't defund NTF-ELCAC. Moderna seeking Philippines EUA. China intrusion into West Philippine Sea hit. Erap discharged from hospital. Asians win big at Oscars. Cloudy skies, isolated rain showers to prevail. Good morning, I am Sandy Locos and you're watching Tribune News on Q. Today is Tuesday, April 27, and now the news. The Health Department on Monday reported that 8,929 additional COVID-19 patients were recorded, raising the nationwide tally to 1,006,428. Meanwhile, 914,952 have recovered, while 16,853 have died. Of the total 1,006,428 cases nationwide, 74,623 or 7.4% were active infections. Based on government's bulletin, 95.4% of the currently sick patients were experiencing mild symptoms, 1.4% were asymptomatic, 1% were in critical condition, 1.3% were severe, and 0.87% are moderate. The Pandemic Task Force is expected to announce this week the new lockdown status across regions and cities for the month of May. President Rodrigo Duterte may announce on Wednesday the new quarantine classifications for the entire month of May, as health experts recommend keeping strict restrictions in Metro Manila and nearby provinces. In a briefing on Monday, Presidential spokesperson Secretary Rody said the Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases would discuss this week the Philippines' COVID-19 situation to determine the appropriate lockdown status of regions and cities. The palace official said the quarantine classifications would be based on the country's healthcare utilization rates as well as week and daily attack rates. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III said he favored the extension of the current lockdown status of Metro Manila and nearby provinces for another week to further decrease the number of coronavirus infections. The capital region, Bulacan, Cavite, Rizal, and Laguna were placed under MECQ, or the nation's second strictest lockdown status, from April 12 until the end of the month. The palace on Monday appealed to lawmakers to spare the 19 billion budget of the government's anti-communist task force from their complaints on the political gaffes of its mouthpieces. Presidential spokesperson Secretary Rody said the 2022 budget of the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict should not be in trouble merely because of the controversies hounding Lieutenant General Antonio Parlade and Communications Undersecretary Lorraine Badoy, who speak for the task force. The palace official said the task force formed by President Duterte in December 2018 should not be defunded if they have issues with its officials. Nearly 16.5 billion of the 19 billion budget was for the Barangay Development Fund, or the grant of 20 million peso worth of infrastructure projects for barangays supposedly cleared of communist influence. Senators have been calling to abolish and defund NTF-ELCAC, which had been dragged into a string of issues, the most recent of which was the red tagging of community pantry organizers by its spokesperson. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Montero Sport. Elevate your journey.
Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.
Moderna has sought an emergency use authorization from the Food and Drug Administration, National Task Force Against COVID-19 Chief Implementer Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. disclosed. The application for Moderna's mRNA 1273 vaccine was made through its healthcare services provider, Zuellig Pharma. The government has procured a total of 13 million Moderna vaccines, while the private sector has ordered 7 million doses of the same brand, Galvez said. Galvez also reported that as of April 25, the government has already vaccinated 1.5 million Filipinos, with 1.7 million jabs administered for healthcare workers, senior citizens, and people with comorbidities. A number of senators on Monday condemned the illegal activities of China in the West Philippine Sea through a resolution that denounced the superpower country's intrusion into the Philippine territory. China should also pay for the ecological damage its boast caused and the illegal structures it built in Philippine properties amounting to 800 billion pesos. Senate President Pro Tempore Ralph Recto, Senate Minority Leader Frank De Relon, Senators Nancy Binay, Leila de Lima, Richard Gordon, Risa Ontiveros, Lito Lapid, Francis Pangilinan, Grace Poe, Bong Revilla, and Joel Villanueva co-authored Resolution 708. The resolution complemented the position of Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. and Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana, who immediately demanded the withdrawal of around 200 Chinese maritime militia boats that were found lingering in Julian Felipe Reef on March 7. On April 23, the Philippines lodged 2 new diplomatic protests against China after at least 160 Chinese fishing vessels and maritime militia vessels were sighted by the National Task Force in various parts of the country's exclusive economic zone. Former President Joseph Estrada has been discharged from the hospital after almost a month of confinement for pneumonia as a result of COVID-19 infection. Estrada was admitted at a unnamed hospital on March 28 after he complained of difficulty in breathing. He was diagnosed with pneumonia and tested positive for coronavirus. He was moved to the intensive care unit twice for bacterial lung infection, where he was placed under high-flow oxygen support. Erap celebrated his 84th birthday last April 19 at the hospital. We will be back. Stay with us.
Iba ng panahon, dami ng bago ngayon. Pati ang mundo natin, well, nagbago na rin. Buti ang bayan, bigger, better na. You can buy it sa centers, pati sa mga partners, may online pa at app. You can buy it with your fingers, still don't remittance and more. Online shopping, you can buy it all. Di magpadala, you can buy it all. Anumang pera transaction, you can buy it all.
Sabayan ang pagbabago ng mundo for all your pera transactions, all new Bayan.
Fiber is the free and secure way to connect with friends and family, anywhere. Send messages and make phone and video calls for free. Download Fiber now.
Good morning, sir. How may I help you?
Bakit kailangan ko pang pumunta sa bangko?
Oo nga naman, sir. Ba't kailangan pang pumunta sa bangko?
Why not get a UB app? So you can do all these without going to the bank. Bank the way you live. Union Bank.
Asians again made a splash at the 93rd Academy Awards as Chinese filmmaker Chloe Zhao won Best Director for Nomadland, and South Korean actor Yo Jung-yeon bagged the Best Supporting Actress Award for Minari. Zhao, 39, is the first Asian woman to win Best Director and the only second woman after Catherine Bigelow for Hurt Locker in 2010 to top the category in Oscar's 93-year history. Meanwhile, 73-year-old Yo Jung-yeon became the first Korean to win an acting award at the Oscars as Best Supporting Actress for her role as a grandmother living on a farm in Minari. She is also the only second Asian to win after Japanese-American actor-singer Miyoshi Umeki, who starred in Sayonara in 1958. Metro Manila and the rest of the country will have partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers, especially in the afternoon and evening. Northern and central Luzon will be affected by the northeasterly surface wind low. Heat index in Metro Manila could reach a maximum of 33.8 degrees Celsius. That wraps up the stories this morning. Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, TribuneNow. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store or Google Play to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber Kachibu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarcito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just visit the sticker store and search for Kachibu Community. And before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store and Araneta Center. Again, this is Sandy Locos and you're watching Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning and have a nice day.